So I looked up a firmament. Finally, this is what it said. Hello again. How are you people doing? Well, summer's finally upon us. Not too late. Definitely could have came a little sooner, but hey, it is what it is. Um, we last talked when we were talking about the science of God in terms of heavens and the earth. How did it get there? How did it get here? So he created the heavens and the earth. He created the stars. He created the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. I personally feel, and when I say I feel, I'm saying psychologically, mentally, that given the time period, they associated things to what they understood life was. Just like Akhenaten. I always mess his name up. Akhenaten, King Tutankhamun's father. He was labeled the heretic king because he believed there was only one God. A lot of people say, oh, well, he was still a paganistic pharaoh because he thought the sun was a god. Okay, that's what he saw. That's what he saw. Everybody's not Moses. Okay? At first I was thinking, well, why come God waited so long to come back to earth and talk to somebody about what we were doing wrong? And as I started getting into ancient Egyptian culture, I came to the conclusion that God has always been there. He's always been talking to us. But on earth as it is in heaven. Our children, as lovely as they can be at times, don't always listen to us. No, we could be telling them the God's gospel. If they're not prepared to receive that information and use that to better themselves, you can try to force them all you want. All you're gonna do is create resentment. So God goes to Akhenaten. Akhenaten misinterpreted. Yeah, excuse me. He misinterpreted the message. Akhenaten got the message, but he misinterpreted it. Now, why do I believe this is true? Ever so often, God comes back and he gives a message to a different person. He gave it to the Muslims. He gave the message to the Jews. Actually, he gave the message to the Jews, and after Jesus died, they created a whole new religion based on him. Christianity. He gave the message to John the Baptist. John the Baptist realized that, hey, not only am I receiving a message, but there's another message inside the message. There's somebody greater than me coming to do even more things for the community. Now, not to get too far down the road, let's back it up a bit. How did we get to that point? Book of Genesis is literally the beginning of all things on earth. So that's where we'll start from. I looked up a firmament. Took me a while, but I finally got back to looking it up again. I kind of had an idea based on what I read before. So I looked it up this morning. It is literally the heavens and the skies, a sphere. It's got two definitions according to Google. One is a sphere, and then the other is it mentions the heavens and the sky. So it's not too far from what I said before. So when it talks about the firmament of the heavens, he's talking about the sphere, the sky. Because remember, clouds, you could get a massive cloud formation. It starts in Michigan. It could be stretched out all the way to Missouri. Then you get another one. It could be in California and be in Nevada at the same time. Two different parts of the country. But as most of us should know by now, the earth is not flat. The earth is round. So if there's clouds over Michigan and clouds over California, then it's quite possible that there's clouds in other parts of the earth. But since the earth is round, it's considered to be a sphere. The firmament of earth is a sphere. The firmament of the sky is in the shape of the earth. It's a sphere. The outer layer of earth, that invisible dome, is a sphere. It's the firmament. So he divided the firmament of the waters among the waters. He took the waters that were in the earth and separated them. This body of water would become a sea. This body of water would become an ocean. And the land on the earth was given way to. Because remember, we have more water on earth than we do land. That's why sometimes I scratch my head when people say we're running out of clean water. How are we running out of clean water when we literally have tons of water, not including the ice caps? So you just have to come up with a process to filter the water. But we have plenty of water. Humans are made of mostly water, so I'll save that one for another day. But anyway, let's talk about the beginning. We left off where? We left off, and God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. And he made the stars also. It's come to my attention that the planets are not stars. after reading a few articles online, watching a few YouTube videos, I've come to the conclusion that yes, the so-called starlight, is quite possibly the sun. And each, I believe, I haven't proven it yet, but I believe each solar system has its own sun. That sun, the energy emitted from that sun, literally lights up that solar system. So depending on what time of the day or night it is, the sun might hit one planet and barely tap another planet, and yet another planet may be in total darkness. So, I mean, that's just the way things work. Can't explain it. Might have to grab your local astrologist or scientist, space science. Anyway, enough of that. Where are we? And to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. Why not? You buy a house that has to be fixed up. You spend weeks, months, scrubbing floors, scrubbing walls, repairing, patching up holes. After all your work is done, the first time you go into that building, that house, and you flip that switch and you know the lips goes on and the lights work, when you see all the hard work that you didn't put in, you have a sense of accomplishment, a sense of pride. Like, man, I'm so glad this is done. But you wouldn't be able to admire your handiwork if it wasn't no light so you could see. So yes, light is a good thing. Again, space is dark. There's a lot of beauty in the world. And if it wasn't for light, moonlight, sunlight, we wouldn't be able to see it. You know? And even with these scientists that like to dive into the ocean exploring stuff, once you get so far down, you can't see. So you have to have some type of artificial light that's going to allow you to see in deep depths. I don't know how to do it, but God bless them. Okay. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. So God's been on the clock for 4 days. Some people get upset about 4 hours. And these customers are breaking my nerves. Imagine making a whole solar system in 4 days. In a little over 4 days. You got a list of things, a to-do list, and you told yourself, I'm going to get this done in a week. Yeah, that sounds good. I'm going to get it done in a week. So, excuse me. So day 4, Lights are on. Ooh, excuse me. I'm so okay. So he's got 4 days in. He's got 2 more days. What is he going to do to finish up this project? Hmm. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. It's still saying the evening and the morning because midnight is still dark outside. So I'm sure he's taking a break, but he's taking a break during the day. Well, I don't know. I wasn't at that meeting, so I couldn't tell you. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. Open firmament of heaven. Well, we already know firmament is sphere like, is literally a sphere. The heavens and the skies. The firmament of heaven. The sky. The bird. That's what fowls are. Birds. Flying birds. Because you have some birds that they got wings but they don't fly. Different story. Anyway, birds flying through the sky. The fowl. And God created great whales. He ain't saying nothing about humans. He didn't say nothing about humans. However, if you follow the pattern as he's creating all these living creatures, living things, each one plays a part in the ecosystem of Earth. And as we know, whales are considered mammals. They have intelligence. Aha. So, oops, sorry. Sorry about that. Sinuses, I'm trying to hold back. But as I'm saying, whales are mammals, and they do have intelligence. So every time he creates an animal, a certain specific type of animal, he gives them some type of intelligence. But he's not quite where he wants to be. Remember, scientists experiment. They have theories. Well, I wonder if I do this and I do that, what will be the outcome? This whole experiment, the Genesis experiment, that's what he's doing. That's why every time he does something and then it says, and God saw that this was good. Once he proves his theory and he sees the results, if it's something good, he keeps it. Remember, there were actual dinosaurs on the earth, but because of a cataclysmic earth-changing event, dinosaurs died out. It wasn't good for the earth. And it wasn't going to be good for humans. So, instead of just getting rid of all animals, he got rid of the dinosaurs. Now, let's pause for a minute. The Bible, a lot of people say you can't put into the Bible and you can't take away from the Bible. I understand that. The Bible mentions dragons, the Bible mentions some other creatures, but it doesn't outright mention dinosaurs. They might not even been called dinosaurs back then. I really don't think they were, but we'll dig into that later on. But I'm just saying, in the book of Genesis, where are the dinosaurs? Where's any mention of dinosaurs? Because remember, Adam named all the land animals. Who named the sea animals? It's possible Adam could have named them too. Maybe he was strolling down the beach and. Because I doubt very seriously you're going to get a big whale inside the Garden of Eden. The river would have to be so wide and so deep to keep that whale from getting beached and not being able to get back to sea. So if Adam was in the Garden of Eden and never left, or it could be that he named them after he was kicked out, expelled from the Garden of Eden. We don't know. Interesting though. That is interesting. So and God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. He's creating the world's biggest zoo. Here's the thing, just a theory. You build a zoo. You have all these different animals, different parts of the world. You got to have a team of people, not just one person. I mean, you could, but he'd have to be really super fast, or she had to be super fast. You need a team of people to care for the animals, to make sure the animals are fed. So here's my thing. God created humans to take care of the earth, take care of the animals. And in return, he will take care of us. He gives us the knowledge to farm, to plant, to create things. We don't always do the right thing with that knowledge, but he did give it to us. We are on a higher level than the other animals he's created. Because we can do things that they can't. And with evil in the world, we can protect them in ways they can't protect themselves. So, he created whales He created every living creature. He created, oh, which the waters brought forth abundantly. So I'm I, I'm having a hard time trying to conceive how he may have created sea life. The reason being is because some people will argue that there's certain creatures, certain aquatic animals that you're not supposed to eat. It's a sin against God. So why create those animals? It's just like me personally. I don't like mosquitoes. I don't see the use of mosquitoes. You create us to take care of the animals, but then we get these mosquitoes that's trying to bite us and draw blood from us, and they're running around carrying diseases. That's not what. You could die. You might live. Fortunately, I've not been bitten, stung by any mosquitoes that was carrying any diseases. And if the mosquito was sick, then I thank God that I survived it. So he created the whales. And why is it the whales? Why do they specifically mention whales? And the whales come up in another part of the Bible as well. But yeah, they specifically mention the whale. And then they say other creatures in the sea. So is it because the whale is the biggest of all the creatures in the sea? In the ocean, rather? Could be. I don't know. And after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind, and God saw that this was good. So he created the whale, smaller creatures, and it goes into the fowls. He created the sea creatures. He created the the birds. But he doesn't name a specific. They don't name a specific bird. They don't. They did not name a specific bird, but they named a specific sea creature. They named a whale, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't think about that. Like, that's true. Why would you put emphasis on a whale and not put emphasis on a bird? Because remember, in the earlier earlier passages, earlier sections, we talked about the fowl. A fowl is a bird. Then he gets down here and it specifically says whale and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth. So he's talking about animals that live in the water. Then he says the fowl, but it doesn't emphasize what type of fowl. Even if it mentions it later on, still, it's not mentioning it now. So, oh, sorry. Oh, goodness. I'm just klutzy today. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas and let fowl multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. So, the evening and the morning was the fifth day, and he has created life. That's his business. He creates life. He just literally goes around giving things life. Step back, take a look at it. Okay, that's good. I like that. And he lets it continue. So he gives the whale life. He creates the whale. And then he creates other creatures that live in the sea. You got whales, sharks, small fish, marlins. You got catfish. You crab, lobsters. That one ugly fish with the antenna on his head looked like a eyeball. That one. Eels. That's just off the top of my head. Now, if you put that into today's climate, social climate, what we're going through now, think about it. In the beginning, God created one creature for each section of the world. He created whales in the sea, in the water. He created birds that would fly through the sky. And then he made it so they would multiply. Specifically, they used the word multiply. Be fruitful and multiply. And fill the waters in the sea and let fowl multiply in the earth. Okay, so there's more than one type of whale. There's more than one type of fish. There's more than one type of bird. So if God created multiple versions of the same thing, and some of y'all already know where I'm going with this. If he created multiple versions of the same thing, and God and humans are his most intricate, most prized work, then isn't it possible that God created white people and black people, regardless of which one he favored? If he favored black people more or if he favored white people more, I'm not getting into that discussion. God never said anything about supremacy. Well, you know, the birds can fly, so there's going to be bird supremacy on the earth. And the whales will have to bow down to them. No. Each animal is is part of an ecosystem for where they live at. Whales are in the sea, birds are in the air. But there's different species of birds, different species of aquatic life. Excuse me. So that brings me to the conclusion that there are different species of humans. Different, I don't know if I want to say species of humans, but there's different types of humans: dark-skinned humans, light-skinned humans, super light-skinned humans, white-skinned humans. So why the hate? Oh, well, black people are only 3/5 a person. According to what standard? See, here's the thing. We have to understand one thing. If you are religious, you can't try to use the Bible. You can't use the Bible to condemn black people when God Himself created multiple versions of the same thing. So, the argument that, white people are superior, God wanted them to have control over the earth. No, I'm reading the Bible right now from the beginning, the book of Genesis. He created multiple creatures, and every time he saw something good, firecrackers, every time he saw something good, he empowered those creatures to be able to multiply, to create another version of themselves. That goes for white people and black people. It goes for fish, whales, and it goes for birds. So, that being said, according to religious texts, white people are not superior to black people based on the color of their skin. It never was. So I'm going to stand on that and that alone. Now, if a white person just happens to be smarter, then that's a different thing. You talk about intellect. But to say white people are better because of the color of their skin, most racist people claim to be religious. They claim to love God. They claim to be Christians. This is the beginning of the Bible. Show me racist white people. Show me where in the book of Genesis where it says white people are superior. God made a tree, a fruit tree, saw it was good, and gave it the ability to multiply itself. He made a whale to swim in the sea. That was his fish tank. That was his fish tank. And he threw some more creatures in there and said, oh, that's nice. Go ahead and multiply yourselves. He made birds to fly in the air. Oh, that's nice. I like that. Go ahead. Grant you the power to reproduce yourself. He made black people on the continent of Africa and said, yeah, this is cool. This is good. Go ahead, multiply yourself. He made white people in Europe. Go ahead, multiply yourself. What you're not willing to admit is that every time God saw something good, He said to have the power to multiply and be fruitful. He didn't say nothing about trying to have domination over the other creatures. It wasn't until He got to the humans, He created humans in His image, mankind. So following His own blueprint, okay, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to create a dark-skinned person, a light-skinned person, but as a whole, as a group, as a species, mankind, men and women, will be superior to the other creatures of the earth. Did not say that they're going to be superior over one another. So, that being said, you beautiful people, we got work to do. There's no such thing as white supremacy. It is a fallacy. is a false narrative. No white person is dominant over black people because of the color of their skin. And I don't need a science book to tell me. If you're religious, if you consider yourself a Christian, read and understand the Bible. The book of Genesis tells you everything you need to know. We just finished what, the fifth day? Next week, we're going to do the last day. So, with that, I pray for you. Be good, stay safe, and we'll chat later.